YouTube, new family. What is going on? Been a minute since the last upload, a few days, and I want to come to you guys with a new, fresh video. These are some things that I found um, the other day. I received them from my roommate a few years ago, and I didn't think much I was gonna ever, be using him or just kind of forget about them. But now that I'm on this journey and helping others get out of where I was, lost in lust and thinking that was the answer and always adding more women, um, I was able to, well, God put in my place again and essentially Polaroids. And it's crazy because I can look at all these pictures and you guys will see some of the pictures I'm going to show you guys. But essentially, I want to show where I was and essentially just touch base, essentially what I was thinking at that time, what was going through my head, maybe some backstory as to the people I met. I'm going to obviously hide the faces just for the privacy of the people, of the girls, if they watch the videos, but just in general, just it's mostly about how I was, and you can see the darkness in that lifestyle. Even though the ego, your ego can react to it, and you'll kind of get um, that like feeling the ego tries to sell you of women. But it's assortment of Polaroids, and I didn't organize them like from date or anything like that. It's basically from a span of 3 years, from 2019 to about 2022, 2023. So actually almost 4 years. But yeah, it's really, I have some old people, old friends as well that I hung out with at the time, and basically the place I was staying at was, if you guys know Toronto, I was staying right by King and Bathurst, which at that time still um, was like the party place where all the clubs were, and we moved there specifically for that. And I remember staying in basically it was a den, so my room was basically a closet, and that's how devoted I was to you know learning, but eventually staying in that lust for women. It was a actually when I met my roommate, I was actually more in lust than wanting to learn. I was just needing validation, needing to grow in that area, and I, funny enough, put myself around the best people that were good at this, but I just lost myself completely. And I remember during that time it was COVID. We just moved in, and when that happened, everything shut down around 2020, March 2020, and that, funny enough, was, you could say, my most eventful year in terms of what I was able to pull off. And it's crazy how much I lost myself that year. I actually lost my job, but instead of looking for a new job, I used the money that I was getting, which was it's called EI, so employment insurance. I was getting like a few $1,000s a month, so it was just enough for rent and just enough to go out and spend it. And that's how lost I was in terms of my priorities and my responsibilities. And there's no regrets because everything's perfect. It brought me to where I am now, the experience I have and the wisdom to get those out of it, because like I say always, I've lived what most people want to, and in a very short period of time. And it's crazy in one sense what the devil allowed me to live, and also God showed me that wasn't for me. And now I'm in a place where I can show others and guide them from experience and wisdom. So without further ado, I'm gonna see if I can show you guys some stuff here. So here's one. I'm gonna cover everyone's face here. Let's see. There's, you can see the eyes. Like it's basically was there, and this was an after party that we were at. So we had a place, like I said, 2 blocks from King and Bathurst, and uh, we had set it up especially for these things. So you'd have like games. We had like a dartboard. We have a bar. We had basically the whole thing situated for that. And we had the Polaroid as well, and I'm not sure who these girls were. Like I was telling I got my haircut. I was actually waiting for the video to do this, to shoot the new video. But I was talking to my barber, and like you realize that it's all a blur when you are in this lifestyle. You think you're gonna remember all the women, and like you're gonna have a moment with each one, and like think back. But I can look at pictures and kind of understand or have a bit of backstory behind it. But it's whether I was with them or not. Obviously, I didn't sleep with all the women in these Polaroids, but you kind of just, it's a blur. Like there's some specific ones. Like I have some with ex-girlfriend and other women, but for the most part, it's a blur. Here's one as well. Can't really see. It's my ex-girlfriend, but look at my face. It's a face of someone that was very just lost, and you can see the eyes. I'm sure the camera could catch the eyes, but like this, see the shadows and the darkness in the eyes, and like you see me now. I'm actually present. Before I was like, I had a girlfriend at the time. I'm not sure if we were together or not. We were open for a large part of it, and I just, even the pictures we took, I'll show you another one. Crazy. You could, like, she's smiling in this one and holding me, and like you can see my face. Crazy. Look at that. It's almost like a look of disgust. It's crazy. And yeah, it's like a smile, but it's not this smile, it's and yeah, it's everyone, some people are smiling in the pictures as well, and you see smiles, but like I was told recently, and it's true, you only attract them the frequency you're on. No matter the characteristics that person has, maybe they're bubbly, maybe they smile, they laugh a lot, but at the end of the day, your frequency attracts everything you have in your life. Look at this one. Look, you could see the addiction and how lust is addiction, and your ego won't let you see it. But when you get to the spot and you look back and you're actually able to operate spiritually and know that's where the answers are, you could see. Look at that. That's a man that's like lost, like that's the eyes of an addict, like pushing to really make the night last, chasing the night. This was probably like 6 a.m., 4 a.m. We were playing Jenga, the big thing we did with a lot of the women there. And, I'm doing this to show you guys that I actually live this life. And, I'm not just here as someone that just poses as, oh, I got girls and I'm going to help you guys get out of it. I want you guys to see, especially me now, but who I was before, and my face. And you guys can see the contrast and the darkness in my eyes, especially. Like you guys can see the difference. And this is to give you guys faith and show you guys that even though it's glorified in society, and your boys are going to tell you, oh, how are the girls, and which one are you banging now, and let's go to a trip to go get more. And this was one actually I lost sleep over. So this was one of my better looking poles, as they call them, and I was so addicted and needing a feeling that you could see here. I mean, my face, like tired. Just gonna focus in, but there you go. There, but not there. And I remember not being able to sleep that night because I couldn't fuck her, and I was like, that was oh, it's my hottest one, and like you lose sleep. I remember losing sleep over women I didn't sleep with. Losing sleep, like just tossing and turning, and just my ego creating stories of what did I do wrong? It was this, it was that, or like punishing myself. And that's why I say I shot my stories in the morning, and that's why I say when you're battling yourself, you're still in the mental plane. You still understand that everything's actually spiritual. If I had at that point knew that everything was actually working for my favor, and if I did sleep with this girl, for instance, would have who knows what could have gone wrong, and obviously God knows the reason why. And it's it's funny how when you look back, everything makes sense, but when you're in that moment and you start creating stories, or let your head create stories, or ego, like I did, you realize, that yeah, it was all fake. I mean, it doesn't matter why I wasn't able to sleep with one. It just wasn't the face, but like, just once you look at the face, it's the eyes are always the lamp to the soul, and you can see here with that, there's, it's just picture after picture. The other one as well. And it's funny because when you get to a spot where you're very in it, but you're in lust, but you actually are able to attract women, like them being physical with you and like hugging you like this one, it's like something that's just, you just aren't able to connect with that person. Like I remember this specific girl was actually a pretty wholesome girl, but I just wanted the delay so bad that I just wanted the picture to make it seem like something was happening, and then yeah, I was always just trying to filter to see how fast I could sleep with them, and if nothing happened, I would just throw it away. And that's where you actually lose a lot of connections. And God, I always knew was there. Now I knew, but when you're in ego and in lust, you're so like such a slave to your flesh, that you remove the ability to actually connect with people. Like I said, I was always looking for just the flesh first, and then connection, if anything, but I wasn't even able to connect with myself. So how can you connect with another person? And now I see with this one as well, the one that I was talking about losing sleep over, it was frequency at the end of the day. Like, I want to kind of show you guys her smile. You can see compared, like, like, look at the difference in frequency. Someone that's there but like dead, and then someone, she was a pretty successful girl. She had her own business. I think she was like a life coach, and she bought her dog as well. I met her like on the street, and I was with a friend at the time, and we did something called like a insta date. So you just bring them from where you meet them somewhere else. And I remember all these terms and stuff like that, but what mattered was I was trying to force something that wasn't there. And it's a frequency at the end of the day that I didn't understand. You can't think about frequency. It's not something you can think about and generate, and like, what frequency am I at? Am I in fear? There's a frequency chart, but even that is not real as you think. Frequency is when you're not thinking, you're raising your frequency. And when you're connected to God, and the one that brings you everything, that's when you're highest frequency. When you're grateful, you're at a high frequency. When you're authentic, you're at a high frequency, and you're not thinking. When you're thinking, you're lowering your frequency each minute that goes by, each second that goes by. And let's go. Here's another one. This is me with no beard. Oh, this is bad. This is me with someone I met. This is when I just moved into the place. I remember I had no beard. And this is about like October, when we just got the Polaroid. All right, eyes. Just needing the validation, just needing the picture so I could show the guys, that I was with somebody, and I closed. But why does it matter? I've never talked to her till this day. And it's like you create moments like this. Like, this could have been an authentic moment, like me, me and her, like taking a good picture together, just very close. But you just use that as like status thing of like, ego. What picture can you get out of it? Another one, I look like I'm doing cocaine. I wasn't doing cocaine at this point, but see that white thing on my nose? But look at my face. Crazy how dead I look. I just woke up from a coma. crazy. And like just, and we were just pushing till 6 a.m. I remember going to 6 a.m. probably like maybe 2, 3 times a week, and then sometimes doing 5 days a week going out. And like I said, it's the devil that rules that behavior. It's not, you think it's your mind, you think it's normal to be in lust, and like everyone's pictures on Instagram, all the girls, and follow the Instagram models and just like all their pictures and just fantasize about being with them. It's all the devil. It's all the devil using you in your flesh. Here's some faces here, but photos you're going for. I think I did sleep with this girl on the left, the one in the red. But pictures like this that mean nothing. It's just you kind of, it's cool to see women kiss each other, but like, for what? I mean, it is what it is. But it's good to look at this. This is when we started experimenting with, that is like cough syrup and then Jolly Ranchers. It's like the thing what rappers do. I'm not sure. But experimenting, trying to feel more, even though we had women always around, women were here, like constantly women at the place. We still need to add drugs and things to feel better and more, and it wasn't enough. And let's see if I can find another one. This is the Jenga that we played. So we had like a routine of bringing them, playing Jenga, having like rules for them. If they got a block, they had numbers on them, and like 5 is drink, 3 is kiss, 4 is go to a room. Like games you're playing to try to be with try to sleep with each other. I mean, let's see here. Here we go. It's perfect. This is a sum up of the girls were attracting, just 20 middle fingers. It seems cool, just throw a middle finger up. But I mean, I don't regret it, but it's just like when you look back, it's crazy. But I just want to show you guys for faith. I'm not doing this to brag. Here's another one. This was actually, I believe, a girl my other friend slept with, and we also had stories as well of sharing girls. Plenty of that happened, and just me there, tired, just trying to see what I can get. Probably 4 a.m. Yeah, I remember it was 4 a.m. and I think I brought her to the room. Nothing happened, but like, just sacrificing things like sleep, your health, your physique, your body, your mind, for these instant pleasures. And did that a lot. And I mean, it's it's perfect. It happened so I can be here today and show you guys this. And oh, here's one of me smiling. Crazy. You can look at the eyes. Look at this smiling, but it's not the same smile we had here. You can see the eyes. Look at the eyes. Crazy. Basically closed. I've had McDonald's. I was eating McDonald's. I haven't had McDonald's in like, what, 7? What was this? No, I can't say 7 years. This was Fry's. I haven't had McDonald's since then. So, like I said, frequency. If you're doing low frequency things like chasing women, you attract low frequency food, fast food, McDonald's. You attract low frequency drugs, codeine, cough syrup, low frequency behavior. And doesn't matter how much you get or the quality of the women, the frequency is still the same. And there it is. It's like me. Crazy. I want to show you friends and stuff like that, but just for the privacy of them, I can show you maybe this girl. No, she's actually a pretty good girl. Nice girl. There you go. I'll show you guys an after party. I guess like there's people in the back. Well, this is a big thing I used to do: take pictures of the girls I was with. So I would like sleep with them, and then I go on Instagram and take some kind of aesthetic picture. This one was beside the dartboard, so I told her to pose. I'm not sure her face, but there's a dartboard behind her, and then I would just post it online and think I was the big G, you know. And in my head, when I posted, I'm like, "How people are gonna see this? People are gonna want this," but it's all a story. It's all a story your ego tricks you with. It's all fake. It's all sham. And here's another one. Two women. Actually, one of them is my ex. Two women kissing. You know. What else? See if I can end with one more. I mean, there's hundreds here, but I'm not sure if I showed this one. I did show this one. Crazy. Oh, here's one. Yeah, I'm sleeping. How tired I was basically sleeping in the store in the. Look at that. Asleep. Crazy. There's so many times I wanted to go to sleep, but just for the sake of, being the last one standing and possibly getting some pussy, I stayed up. And yeah, it's just like you saw one picture. I'll show you this last one. This is the perfect picture to end what lust looks like at its fullest, which is an addiction in the eyes. That's a person that's lost. I mean, no matter how many girls that night I got or didn't get, or that year, or that week, or that month, or that hour, whatever it was, if you're willing to look like this while doing it, there's something serious that you have to begin to think about. And God put me through this for a reason. That's why I said everything's perfect. It happens this way. Something told us to record it, so it's here. And something told my roommate to give it to me, and God put it so I can share with you guys. Give faith. D22 when I looked before, crazy. But yeah, I mean, do one more time. Crazy. But there's lust, at its peak. Like I said, this was a time from 2019 to 2022, 2023 almost. Yeah, almost 4 years. So I had met my second ex-girlfriend at the time, and it's during COVID. But I had my highest volume of women at that time as well during COVID with no job. So like I said, pushing even when I should have been working and focusing on other things, the lust was what made me do all these things. But yeah, there's more, but for the privacy of the people, I can't really share more. I mean, I also don't want to show the women just for the privacy of it as well. But yeah, it's crazy. And like I said, you saw pictures of how my eyes were not there. You see my eyes now. It's a different person. I'm actually able to be present, be grateful, and share wisdom to others from where I was. And society, if you're watching this, if you got this far, and your ego maybe responded to some things, and you saw some pictures of me with women, oh wow, it'd be cool to have. I mean, everyone has their journey, but I work with people that are past that, are ready to connect with their actual purpose, and that's what the coaching I do. Like I said, I've been there in all stages, starting, staying too long, getting out, having a lot of regrets, some nights, too much regret, and then ultimately what actually got me out was just actually recorded it in another video. But everything's for a reason, and God put me through all this so I can help others get out. So like I said, I work one-on-one with those that want to get out, or have been there, or know they're in there right now, and like I said, display the same behaviors of sacrificing their career for this, their health, time with family, maybe time with like close friends. You're sacrificing things that actually bring you closer and connected to God at the end of the day, but you're sacrificing for the flesh, and these women and losing sleep and taking drugs and all these things. So when you're in that place, you're losing your battle to lust, and that's what I help people with. So on my Instagram, you'll be able to follow me there, connect with me there. But I want to give you guys basically a look back. You could say like I step back in the time machine, which was 19 to 2023, so only a few years ago. And now we're in 2025. It's October, and you're just looking at a different person. Like, just feel different, internally different, grow in so many different ways, thanks to my coach, Mike, and also my other coach Yados, but also the work I've done, 24/7 work, staying aligned, connected, and making the right decisions. So letting go of the things, places, even people that don't help you get there, and that's all part of the process. But like I said, I am here to help others, and like I said, I work with those that are serious. So if you feel or know that the path you're going on felt good for a bit, but you understand that your conscience is calling you to do something else, then we can connect on Instagram. I'd love to help you. And yeah, it's going to be something that you have for the rest of your life and are able to combat and never fall victim again to lust, because it's one thing that men lose themselves to and lose anything they've built to. What's the point of building something, but on the side you're just losing yourself to lust of women and superficial relationships and validation from other people, women you slept with, and like I said, posting online like I used to do. It's all, at the end of the day, a big show that your mind plays, and I'm here to help you guys get out of that. So hope you guys enjoyed. Crazy looking back. I'm looking at some now. There's another one, but I believe I posted this on my social media. But yeah, there's just, it's not there. Eyes look better in this one a bit, but just not the same. But anyways, I want to mix it up a bit, show you guys a bit of the time vault and where I got back to and the experiences. And yeah, there's stories behind many of these, and I touched on some, but it's a lot of the things you hear about people doing. Like I said, big thing was sharing women you're with, threesomes, foursomes, like all the biggest majority of the things happen at this place, and it was right by like the core of downtown. So it's crazy, but had to happen that way so I can be here. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed. God bless. And more videos will be coming. I'm going to be more consistent on here, give you guys some wisdom and value, and get you guys out of the psyop that lust tries to sell you, especially nowadays with social media, everyone wanting things fast, especially women. It's the road to hell, and it's going to feel like heaven on the way there. So road to heaven will feel like hell on the way there, but that's where we want to be. But anyways, God bless. Till next time, as always, keep killing it.